Hello everyone, welcome to today's lesson, and today we are going to look at Lection 3, which is on Begrüßungen, which in English means greetings. I will start by saying that in this lesson we shall be learning how to greet people in Deutsch and how to ask how someone is doing. Deutsch Begrüßungen are divided into basic greetings, formal greetings, and informal greetings. I'm going to start with the basic greetings, and I'll start by saying that these are common greetings used every day in German depending on the time of the day. I'm going to start with the first one, Hallo. Hallo means hello. Guten Morgen means good morning. We have Guten Tag, which means good day or good afternoon. Then we have Guten Abend, which means good evening. Then we have Gute Nacht. Gute Nacht means good night. Here I have a note, and note number 1 says that Guten Morgen is used in the morning. Guten Tag is used during the day. It is used at any time of the day. Then we have Guten Abend is used in the evening. Then the last one we have Gute Nacht is used when going to sleep or saying goodbye at night. So we have Guten Morgen, Guten Tag, Guten Abend, and lastly we have Gute Nacht. Second, we are going to look at formal greetings, and I'll start by saying that formal greetings, they are used when speaking to people, you do not know, older people, teachers, bosses, or professionals. How do we ask somebody how he or she is in Deutsch? So, we ask somebody how he is by saying "Wie geht es Ihnen?" That means how are you? Wie geht es Ihnen? How are you? Ihnen is the formal form and can be used both singular and plural. Then, if somebody asks you, "Wie geht es Ihnen?" how do you go ahead and respond? Antworten means answer. How do you go ahead and answer that somebody when somebody asks you, "Wie geht es Ihnen?" You can either answer by saying, "Es geht mir gut, danke," or "Sehr gut, danke." So if somebody asks you, "Wie geht es Ihnen?" you can answer, "Es geht mir gut, danke," or "Sehr gut, danke." So you can either choose this one or this one. Es geht mir gut, danke, it means I'm good, thank you. Sehr gut, danke, it means I'm very well, thank you. So if somebody asks you, "Wie geht es Ihnen?" you can respond by saying, "Es geht mir gut, danke." Wie geht es Ihnen? Sehr gut, danke. Now, after you respond, "Sehr gut, danke," how do you ask the other person, "What about you?" Or rather, "And you?" In Deutsch, we say "Und Ihnen." Now, let's say for example, somebody asks you, "Wie geht es Ihnen?" Then you respond, "Sehr gut, danke." Then you can ask the person, "Und Ihnen?" Und Ihnen, like "and you?" or "what about you?" Then the other person or the other respondent can say "super" if the person is great, or "schlecht" if the person is bad. So we can do a little conversation here. Wie geht es Ihnen? Sehr gut, danke. Und Ihnen? Schlecht. Or I can say super if I'm great. Now, I want us to go ahead and look at informal greetings. Remember, we have looked at the formal greetings. Now I want us to go ahead and look at the informal greetings. Informal greetings, they are used with friends, family, people of your age, people you know very well. And just like how we did informal greetings, we are still going to repeat the same structure. Now, how do we ask somebody like "how are you" in informal setup? So in Deutsch, we ask somebody while in formal setups, "Wie geht es dir?" Remember, in formal setup, we were saying "Wie geht es Ihnen?" But now here, in singular, we are going to say "Wie geht es dir?" Wie geht es dir? How are you? Now that is, remember, Ihnen, it was used both singular and in plural. But now in informal greetings, there are two. In singular, we say, wie geht es dir? Wie geht es dir? But now, in plural, we are going to ask different. And how do we ask in plural if there are many? You can just go ahead and ask, wie geht es euch? Wie geht es euch? How are you all? Wie geht es euch? How are you all? Now, if somebody asks you, wie geht es dir? The possible antworten, or rather the possible answers, you can just go ahead and respond, gut, danke. Wie geht es dir? Gut, danke. Und dir? What about you? Then when somebody asks you, und dir, you can just go ahead and respond. You can just go ahead and say, naja, es geht, which means, well, I'm okay. So we can do a little conversation here. If somebody asks you, wie geht es dir? You can say, gut, danke, or rather you can also say, sehr gut, danke. I'm very well, thank you. Then you can ask the person, und dir, what about you? Or rather, and you? Then the person can respond, gut, danke. Or if the person is well, okay, the person can say, naja, es geht. Remember, J, we pronounce it as Y. So that's why I'm saying, naja, es geht. So we can do a repetition of that. Wie geht es dir? Sehr gut, danke. Und dir? Naja, es geht. Having done that, that marks the end of today's lesson. And it is my hope that you have understood something in this lesson. Remember, we were looking at Begrüßungen, whereby we looked at the basic greetings, formal greetings, and we have ended the lesson with informal greetings. So like I've always said, spare like 5 minutes of your time, go through on what you have just done, and practice on the same, because as we all know, practice, make it perfect. So that's all for this lesson, and remember to support this YouTube channel by subscribing, like the content, and you can be generous enough and share our content widely with your friends. So that's all on this lesson. Let us meet in the next lesson. Danke, tschüss, bis bald.